the team that doesn't just talk about impact, they ignite it. Jim Morris and producer Rachel.
Good morning. Good morning. How we doing, Rachel?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Jim?
Good. Just coming back from a couple days with the family and regaining some energy. So jumping back into things, feeling good, feeling energized, feeling excited, motivated, inspired. I would also say that I'm also feeling a little bit of fear coming back from vacation as well. So,
well, number one, you have little kids, so I don't understand how you're relaxed and energized. Okay. And then number two, how did you stop yourself from working the entire time? Because I know you're like me, where it's like, well, if I just get this one thing out, or if I just get this one phone call. So I'd love to know that. And then obviously, like, what is the fear? Why are you feeling fear?
Yeah. Great question, as always. I would say I feel energized because I put myself in a different environment, which is really powerful for me. So I'm someone who likes to move. I'm someone who likes to like physically move. I moved 18 times before I was 18 with my family. So that's kind of been ingrained in me. And then just from just being stale or, how do I put this? I don't like to show up at the same office every single day for the same amount of hours at the same time frame. Like it's too monotonous for me. So I like to move. So getting me in a different atmosphere actually excites me, encourages me, and gives me energy. And then I leverage gratitude through that process. So like, I'm sitting there at 4 a.m. At a lake house, looking at a lake, literally watching fish jump out of the water. And then all of a sudden the sunrise comes up. It's like this red, and then it turns to orange, and then it turns to yellow. And, I've got a fishing pole in my hand. I'm writing the book in the other. Like everybody's sleeping still. So you asked me how I do it with two kids and early in the morning before everybody wakes up. But just that level of like realness and rawness and life and creation and realizing that I have the opportunity to go sit at a gorgeous lake house and watch fish jump out of the water and be able to get up out of bed and walk down there and have a cup of coffee and all the things, right? Like I'm someone who used to think gratitude was bullshit. And it was really hard for me to be like, I'm so thankful of peanut butter because I had a peanut butter sandwich today. And if there wasn't peanut butter in the world, then wow, life would be so miserable. Like that used to be hard for me. But it's not about the peanut butter, right? It's about the energy from the peanut butter, how that was crafted and created, how it fills me up. And then I can go create and create a peanut butter sandwich for my daughter. And when I start to think deeply around all the things, it allowed me to rise and have a ton of energy, even if I was waking up super early, even if I was working. Those things really push me to really just sit in it and say, I have an amazing life. I have an amazing family. Like it's fucking insanity right now because in an hour, like one kid's going to be screaming, the other one's going to be puking. My wife's going to be trying to work, right? We're going to be trying to go to the zoo. We got to look at the weather. It started raining. Like right? Like I think back of the chaos that happened but the beauty before that and the fact that I actually get to go on vacation, I get to make money, I get to spend time with my family. That's what really gave me energy. But to your point, I think you can do this one way. And for me, I would say it's the correct way. It may not be for you. Or you could do it this other way, which I used to do that was terrible. So it used to be, hey, I'm going to work all the whole time. And then I'd be mad that I had to work the whole time, even though I committed to it, I decided it, and I chose it. So do you have to work as a business owner? You can't just go away for 3 or 4 days in the stage of building what I'm building right now? Yes. But I also know that there'll be a point where I can go away for a month in this business and everything will run and everything will be completely fine. Knowing that I'm not at the stage where I can disappear for a month yet actually gives me energy because I'm moving towards it, right? We talk a lot about those micro steps, those small compounding adjustments, one in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other to get closer and you gain momentum and get bigger and towards what we're trying to accomplish. This is one of those examples. Having a couple team members do a lot of the things and delegating was extremely important as well. And then communicating with you, right? And you stepped in and you helped me out when I was traveling and did an amazing webinar in the community. And like, that's partnership, right? That's, hey, I got this, you focus on that. And just having those things built in, I think is just extremely beneficial to where I can work, I can satisfy a need, I can show up, I can be there for the team, but also I know when I need to be and when I need to be with family. And if I can carve out and strategically place things, then it's going to give me more energy as I do it and as I spend time and go on vacation with family.
Well, and it's so important, because if you don't take that time, consciously take the time, you will burn out, especially as a small business owner. I was speaking to a bunch of ladies in business, all beautiful business owners, but we were all speaking about how when you're at that point right before you start to scale and outsource, it's like this weird point where you're just like, oh my God, how can I do this? How can I do all the things as wife and mom? How can I also do all the things in my business? I mean, we're pretty much working 24/7. It's insane. But until I started to outsource and then train and create systems, I was stuck in that like muddy middle space where it's like, I can't physically do everything, but I've given myself everything to do, right? Where it's like, oh God. And then that literally will just lead to burnout. So if you don't allow yourself to relax, if you don't allow yourself to have space and time, and have a little bit of vacation brain, right? It's okay to sort of just turn off. Have auto responders on, basically saying, I will get back to you when I get back to you, right? Like, unless it's, something really, truly important in the business, table it, right? And I think that's the hardest part sometimes is you feel like, oh, I'm just going to return this one email or I'm just going to return this one text. Do you have to, right? Like you kind of have to sort of like go in that space of no, I'm here for myself and I love myself and I deserve this time away from the business. The business will still be there. Don't worry. Social media will still be there. Don't worry. You don't have to post or schedule posts in advance. It's very easy. I want to circle back to you being afraid though. You said you had fear about what?
So I am doing 2 things that I've wanted to do for a while in my business. And it's scary. Like, I don't know how it's going to go. I've never done it. It's exercising a different muscle of my brain, and putting myself in a position to think drastically about something that I've never thought through with depth. So like writing the book, for example, I don't know anything about writing a book. I never thought I'd write a book in my life. It was like, oh, that's an author. I'm never that, right? I don't know. I literally know nothing. I've never really looked into writing a book as far as like, oh, I like what that book cover looks like. I'm very conscious about like shelves, right? So like when I look at a bookshelf, I'm like, oh, that one's orange. My book's going to be orange. And that one's bold lettering. And that's going to like, so from a branding perspective, I'm like, I know exactly what the book's going to look like. I know what the title's going to be. I know what the imagery on it is. I've got 2 people I'm going to ask to write the forward. Like I've got that side of it, but like, it's scary doing something that I know nothing about. It's kind of why so many people are like, why are you so scared of yoga? Like so many people when I like, dude, seriously? Like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know anything about it. So my fear comes from education and understanding. which is a reoccurring thing that I've realized. So as I come back into this week with a few chapters written, diving more into how a book works, self-publishing, Amazon, covers, ISBN number, like I came back and I'm like, holy shit, I'm doing this. Like, this is scary. This is scary. Like, this isn't just an idea. It's not a thought. It's happening. Like, chapters are written. The outline's done. I'm starting to look into stuff I know nothing about. And so, yeah, it's a scary, fun time. But I also think that, and you know this, fear and excitement bring the same emotion. So physically for me, I'm like scared, but then I'm like, oh, I'm excited and I'm anxious and I'm nervous. But yeah, I mean, that's just the truth. The truth is, like, I had a great couple days to re-energize, had a ton of gratitude, did some work, moved some things forward, came back and was like, wow, this thing's happening. Like, this is going to happen in probably 2 to 3 weeks. This will be done. And
that's amazing. Well, first of all, congratulations. Yay. Number one, as you know, knowledge is power. So like, yes, we're scared, but we're going to do it scared, right? We're going to do it anyway. The greatest feeling is realizing like you're on as an Amazon self-publisher. Like, it wasn't as hard as you thought it was. They really do walk you through the process. I'm on there now because I'm also publishing a book. I'm publishing a children's book in July. Yay. Right. So, once I signed up for that, I was like, oh, wait, like that wasn't hard. Right. Like, all the parameters are there. You just have to read. You just have to learn. And I know a lot of times people like want to press the easy button and I'm just going to hire someone else to do it for me. But really, when you start to look at what are the steps and you can take each step small, however you need to fit in your day, it's not as overwhelming as you think in the beginning. You just have convinced yourself, well, I don't know this, so I can't do it. But I want you guys to flip that today to, I don't know how to do this, but I'm so excited to learn, right? That's totally the flip I want everybody to make today. That's your challenge. Whatever it is that you're scared to do because you feel like you don't have the knowledge or you don't know how, number one, flip that to, I'm so excited to learn this. And then number two, start calling yourself an author. Walk around and say, oh, I'm writing a book, right? And like, start imagining being on the New York Times bestseller list, right? Let's use our imaginations for good. Let's not always think about the worst things. Let's think about the positive things. And again, it always goes back to what I say all the time. If you say it out loud, it will magically start to get easier and easier to say it. So saying like, oh, I'm a children's book author was so hard for me in the beginning. I could not get the words out. And now the more and more I say it, oh yeah, I'm writing a children's book. It's easy. It's just easier and easier. Does that make sense? It really is just a matter of like, do it anyway. And you can learn, like, we can do hard things. We really can. So I'm so proud of you for taking those next steps and not like being overwhelmed or feeling like you have to outsource that work. It's really not hard once you manage to like carve out the time.
Well, yay. Thanks for that information. Seriously. Like that was inspiring, you know, because what you just reminded me of is like, I have help right here. Like you can literally help me with this. Right. And then I started to think about too, is like, wow, well, how many book launches have I spoke at? Like 8 people probably in the last year and a half. So it's like, there's 8 more people that I can leverage. And when I say leverage, I mean, reach out and say, hey dude, I loved your book. You know, like, it was awesome. I'm writing one. I'm about to publish it. Any insights, any help? I'd be greatly appreciative of any feedback during your process, right? Like, it can be that simple. So yes. Thank you for that reminder.
And number one, make sure it's also on Ingram Spark. We'll talk about this later, so that like bookstores and libraries can order it. They order it from there. They're not going to order it from. And then number two, the greatest asset you have, because this is the hardest part for authors, is the marketing part. The book writing part's easy. FYI, getting it self-published, all of that's easy. It's actually marketing the book, which is literally what you do for a living, is marketing, right? So you have something that most authors don't have. And it's that back end of, okay, now the book's there. Now what? and you know exactly what to do and how to create hype around the book. So
It'll be a fun
look
launch.
at right. Yeah. I mean, look at what you do have, which is way greater than just the writing part. That's the easy part. All of a sudden, when you're like, oh, now you have to market it. And FYI, people, I want people to know this, because this is I've been in this world now for about 4 years researching this and talking to my publicist friends and all these things. Even if you get picked up by a publisher, they're still going to say, great, now you have to market it. So exactly. See?
Yeah.
Not everything
Your
is
laptop
perfect.
knows.
Right. There's not a perfect answer for everything. You're still going to have to put the work in. So phase 1 is just writing the book, but phase 2 is the most important, which is marketing it and telling people, hey, I did this thing. And I think that you are in that sweet spot because you do this for a living. So yay, you.
Yeah, we don't want the best kept secret to continue to be a kept secret, right? So
I think we have such a hard time, a lot of us, saying oh, I did this thing, right? Because we think oh, it's ego, or I'm looking for a pat on the back, or I'm looking for a compliment. No, I'm just proud of myself, right? Oh, I did the thing. So you can, however you perceive me, is your problem. I'm just proud of myself that success to me is completing things. Success isn't about money to me. Success is I showed up today, I did the thing I wanted to do, and I did it. And so I think that's huge for people to make that reframe in their day, is just it's okay to pat yourself on the back. It's okay to speak it out loud. It's okay to say I am, because you are. It is. And if they're not cheering you on, then they're just not your people. And that's okay too.
Look at that. Producer Rachel, clearly my people. All my worries and fear are out the window around the book. I just needed to get on a Rise and Energize with the Impact Effect community, and pooh, all that fear is out of here. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Rachel. Seriously. And you're right. I needed to hear that, because you get in your own head sometimes, right? And I'm a human just like everybody else. And that's why I love what we're building in Impact Effect, because it's not just my perspective and guidance, it's yours as well. And we bring unique, different things, and your history and your background and your experiences are different than mine. And it's just amazing to be able to have that open level of conversation and relationship. And that's what we want to build in Impact Effect, and what we are building. There's so many people coming in and out of this community that are realizing, wow, it's not so much about the education, but it's also about the relationships. And if we can build education and network as we are, and continue to positively impact people, then Impact Effect is going to be the place in the home for so many people that are doing the scary things, that are looking to create, looking to build, looking to create positive impact, and ultimately break down those barriers. I
think 2025 seems to have been about collaboration over competition, and I feel like so many people are moving into that space where if there's not enough chairs at the table, we make a bigger table, right? And so yes, you are an author, and your book will be in bookstores and libraries and available nationwide, worldwide, and that's okay. Right? It's okay to say that.
Let's go.
So let's go. Oh my God. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday. Rise and Energize. We'll
Rise
see you inside the Impact Effect community, y'all.
Bye.